Aloha guys, so we're back again with another one of these videos. We're having too much fun, but today we have a really special episode. We're actually going to be doing a collaboration today with Cal Kona. So Cal Kona is one of my favorite producers, purveyors here on the island. They do produce and everything, and they're doing these amazing boxes for the community, guys. They're putting together these produce boxes for only 25 bucks. I mean, it's amazing what they're able to put together with this. And so we're doing a little collaboration. I'm gonna show you what you guys can do with this, with the stuff in this box. Well, we're gonna show you what you guys can do with the stuff in this box. And yeah, and then at the end of this episode, we'll show you how you can purchase one of these if you live here on the Big Island. So let's go ahead and show you what's inside of here. I'm gonna put you down for a minute just while I do this, okay? While I show them what's in the box. So what we have in the box. Okay, you in. Okay, so what we have in the box is some kale, beautiful kale. Got some red leaf lettuce. We have some romaine. This stuff, you follow me, you can check out my video yesterday, some Caesar dressing, and you can make your own Caesar salad. If I can get my lovely camera lady to get a zoom in here on this box. We have some more green leaf lettuce here. We got green onions, tomatoes, lemons, Brussels sprouts, apples. We got some asparagus, pineapple, a little bit of sweet pepper, some bell peppers, red onion. Did I say potato? Did I say potato?
I think so.
Okay, potatoes. She's really into the tomato. And yeah, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna do two different things today. We're gonna do a minestrone. So obviously you got a lot of vegetables. Make a minestrone. It's gonna last for a while. And then we're also going to do a tomato jam, something that you can make and you can keep for a while, and you can add a little spice to it. So we're gonna get started. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the tomato jam. You're good, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna start by making our tomato jam. To do this, we're gonna make a simple syrup first. There's a reason it's called simple syrup. It's because it's simple, okay? So it's equal parts. We're gonna put a cup of sugar and a cup of water. Now,
Definitely not a full cup.
That was about a cup. And a cup. So, as long as it's even, it's simple syrup, 1 cup to 1 cup. If you don't want to make as big, you go half a cup to half a cup. It's simple, okay? Then we're gonna bring it to a boil. Let me show you how we're gonna cut our tomatoes if you want to get one of these cool little angles right up above my shoulder, babe. You can stop it and then do it. Wait, is that correct? No, you gotta do it. Yeah, there, okay. So to cut the tomato, we cut the top off. We cut it into little wedges. And I don't want to waste too much of the seeds. I am going to take out a little bit of the core, just kind of cutting this little bit right here off. Usually, we would take it all out, but right now I want to save some of these seeds because that's going to add some flavor to this. My sous chef is getting a little fussy. Okay, so you take it like that, and then we're just going to cut it into chunks. The cool thing about this is we're going to let it stew in here for a while, so it's actually going to end up... It's gonna end up cooking down. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna turn into a jam. So you don't have to be perfect with your cuts. I feel like I'm always telling you don't have to be perfect with your cuts because I feel like you never really have to. It's cooking, guys. We're not doing brain surgery here. So I'm gonna cut up all my tomatoes like this, and then when this comes to a boil, I'll show you what we're doing. I cut up my tomatoes. This is 3 tomatoes, diced up, cut up, whatever term you want to use, and I'm gonna put it into our simple syrup. You saw the simple syrup was boiling. You want to wait until the sugar is melted in the simple syrup, and then add your tomatoes just like that. And then we're going to take our 5 spice and we're going to add 1 teaspoon of Chinese 5 spice. Okay. Chinese 5 spice has almost like a nutmeg, cinnamon type of flavor. So if you can't get Chinese 5 spice, you could add like a pinch of nutmeg, maybe a little bit of ground cinnamon to this. Allspice maybe. Those are all flavors that are similar. So once you do that and you put it into here, you're gonna give it a little mix. Ooh, smelling good, huh?
Snack break.
Snack break. Okay, so you're gonna let that go for, like I said, about an hour. We're gonna check on it in an hour. I'm gonna put it on medium. You want it to boil, and we're gonna reduce this. It's gonna start cooking down.
Wait, is it on medium for the whole hour?
It's on medium for the whole hour. Yeah, you don't want to rumble, like I said. Everything here, guys, we got time. We're gonna take it easy. So just put it on medium for about an hour, and we'll come back. So this is all the things that we're gonna put into our minestrone. This is what we got in our box. So we're gonna put an onion. We're gonna put some peppers, like red pepper, yellow bell pepper, some potatoes, some asparagus. a carrot, and the tomato is almost gonna be like the base. And did I say kale? We're gonna put some kale in there too. So now we're gonna do a cool little chop, chop, chop montage. Let's do it. Oh, I'm gonna say a little quick thing too. If you guys don't want to use their kale for this, you can take this kale, chop it up, toss it in a little bit of olive oil, and pop it in your oven for 400 degrees and it gets crispy. Those are those cool little, like, you know, you hear those kale chips and stuff that people are making. That's how you do it. Okay, so management is not happy now, but we're gonna, show must go on. So this is everything all cut up. We got our potatoes, carrots, onion, bell peppers, asparagus, kale, and tomatoes. Are you excited? On our jam, one thing I forgot to mention, make sure you keep stirring it throughout this hour. As you can see, we're about halfway in right now, and the tomatoes are starting to break up. It's starting to reduce, starting to smell real. So during feeding time, my wife took it upon herself to dig through our pantry and refrigerator and find more things to put in this soup. So she found a little bit of garlic and some cannellini beans. That's kind of what we're doing this time, guys. You gotta go look through your pantry, see what you have, use everything up. That's what we're here to do. So I'm gonna chop up this garlic and then we're gonna start the minestrone. So I have some avocado oil here that we're gonna start with. Please, join us. Then we're gonna start sauteing everything. We're gonna start with the onions and carrots. Yeah.
That's like salad spoon.
I know. Okay, so you're gonna saute the onions and carrots, and like I was saying earlier, we're gonna create a base for this, kind of like almost like a tomato base for this. So once these are, the onions are kind of translucent, we're gonna add our garlic, and then we're gonna add our tomatoes.
Oh, that jam.
Right? Jamming out. Okay, so I just threw the garlic in, see? Now while that tomatoes are going, I am gonna go take care of the screaming baby in the background. Are you filming?
Yeah.
Ready? Okay, so check this out. So our jam is just about done. Like I said, we're gonna let it go while we're doing our minestrone. So look how good that looks. I know some of you people might, oh, that's not a jam, that's a chutney. But what it is it's tasty. And you're gonna take this, and that's it, guys. You're gonna let this cool down. When it comes to room temperature, it's actually gonna thicken up even more. And what you can do with this is it's amazing over a steak, over some lamb, some fish, even on a piece of crostini, a little bit of this with some goat cheese. This stuff it's super versatile and it'll last. It'll hold for weeks in your refrigerator. So take a look at this. So we have the tomatoes going, and see how I mean the tomatoes are gonna start cooking down and almost kind of creating that base. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some salt now. Okay, and you're wondering, why am I adding the salt now? Why not add a little bit of salt at the end? I'm adding the salt now so it draws some of the moisture out of the tomatoes. And then I'm also gonna add a pinch of red pepper flakes. I have big fingers, so that was a big pinch, but that's just how it is. We're gonna add some of our peppers. So here we have our red and yellow peppers. We're gonna add that in there. A few of our asparagus is gonna fall in because I only had one bowl. So you can see we put the peppers in there. Stir that up and let that just go for a little while. We're not really gonna saute the peppers that much. We're only putting it in just to kind of warm it up. We're gonna add our chicken broth and then let the peppers cook in the chicken broth. All right, and now we are gonna add some chicken broth. At this point, again, I'm adding chicken broth, but you can add vegetable broth. If you want to make a vegetable broth, everything that is in these packs are able to make the vegetable broth. Use the peels, everything like I was showing you in my last video, and make your own vegetable broth. Or you can get a store-bought vegetable broth if you want. Here we're going to put 8 cups of chicken broth. Okay. And then we're going to let this come back up to a boil. High, came to a boil. Now we're going to turn it back down to about medium, bring it down to a simmer. And we're gonna add our potatoes. This is a layered soup, okay guys? So you're gonna have to add things as it's supposed to cook. The potatoes are gonna cook a little bit longer than, let's say, the kale or our asparagus. So we're gonna have to add things at the proper time. So we're gonna add the potatoes first, and we're gonna let that come right back to a boil. And when that comes back up to a boil, I'm not putting it on high, I'm gonna keep it on medium. But when that comes back up to a boil and a simmer, we are going to add our pasta. We have some gemelli pasta here, gemelli, I don't know. But that's what we're gonna use because that's what my wife found in the cupboard. Potatoes have been going for about 3 minutes, 4 minutes now. I cut them pretty small, so they're gonna cook pretty fast. We're gonna go ahead and add our pasta. I would say that's about maybe half a cup. What, right? Half a cup? Maybe let's put a cup, right about like that. We're gonna bring it back to a boil, and then we only have a few more things to add to it, and it'll be ready to go. So now we are just about finished. We're putting our last touches. You can see the pasta's cooked. It's cooked. It's al dente. It's right there. So we're gonna go ahead and turn this on low, very low heat. These last few things that we're putting in don't really have to cook that much. We're gonna put in our asparagus. We're gonna put our beans. These are those cannellini beans that my wife dug up out of the cupboard. We're gonna put our kale. I know that looks like a bunch, but it's gonna end up cooking down. It's gonna be really tasty in there. All right. This last thing I'm gonna do is something that I always have in my refrigerator. It's something that's gonna make this soup delicious. It's gonna make it rounded. It is pecorino Romano. This is like what the Italians would call like peasant's Parmesan, okay? So it's cheaper than Parmesan. It has the same flavor. It's salty. It's delicious. We always have this in our refrigerator. What I usually do is I get the whole rind or the whole chunk, and I'll cut the rind and put the rind in here. I already ground it up, so I don't have that, so I'm gonna put half a cup. And you're gonna mix that in, and that's gonna all melt together in there. From here, we're gonna add some salt and pepper, but again, as I always say, this is gonna be the taste. You're gonna add some salt, you're gonna add some pepper, you're gonna taste it. You're gonna add some salt, you're gonna add some pepper, you're gonna taste it. This is the pepper and salt dance that every cook does at the end of all of their dishes. Wow, look at that. Our soup is done. The last thing I wanna add to it though is I'm gonna add some lemon. I'm gonna just add a little squeeze of lemon. We had the lemon in the box, and I mean, a little bit of citrus, a little bit of acid never hurts in anything. So again, super thankful to Cal Kona Produce for doing this. It's the thing that they're doing for the community. 25 bucks for these boxes, guys. They're really, they're not making money on these things. They're doing it to help out the community. I'll put a link in the description on how you guys can, I can put a link in descriptions, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put a link in the description on where you guys can find these boxes, how you guys can get them, and yeah, thank you guys so much. These videos are super fun. We're gonna keep going, right, Gracie? And yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Aloha.